Hello, Twitch. We are back. Woohoo! Ayo. Yes. Oh well. Let me check. Okay. And hold on. Go live, but
Yeah,
I'm
we're
going
back.
to. I want to pull up the break screen. Right now it says 10:41 p.m. Eastern. That sounds like a fine time. Oh, we'll be back at 10:41 p.m. Eastern after some brief technical. Wait, that's 1 minute from now. Hey, boy, this way. I'm gonna go upstairs and refill my beverage, and then we're gonna resume playing, assuming my fucking power doesn't go out again. As I told the players earlier, we're gonna do one restart for power loss. If I lose power again, we're gonna rule it too unreliable to be worth the effort in taking the power spikes to my computer that's already having issues. So, yeah, hopefully that's the last rattle. Bye. I'll be right back.
So I'm assuming I'm no longer a paused. Oh, I'm frozen, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
I'm fucking frozen.
Yeah, you
I'm
are.
such a weird face.
Oh no.
God.
I mean, I can refresh with you if you want to try this again.
No, it's happened twice a session this time. It's just gonna happen.
It always happens. I don't know why this still comes as a surprise to you.
I know, but like there are times where it doesn't, and it's nice. But if this seems like it's gonna be a perpetual thing for the night,
What I'm hearing is Shin should
I don't
become a
want to.
VTuber. Get one of the
Yeah.
animated.
Oh man,
Is
should
the anime-
all be a VTuber.
Nah.
I don't know why Shin has the problem and I don't, because we have the same camera.
Yeah. Clearly, the one you gifted me is defective, and you're like, haha, Shin's gonna suffer with
Ah,
this.
got him, idiot.
How many funny faces can we catch Shin on?
I thought we should have just kept him on the sleeping face, but no.
I mean, I could get rid of this frozen one by disabling and re-enabling my camera. Apparently, that like takes it away. But like, my camera won't turn back on unless I refresh, basically.
Dreamers, I'm back. Good, you're not gone. I saw the lights flickering upstairs, and I was very concerned.
Oh no.
Yep. My situation is not great with the winter storm. But I'm back. We're back. That's the break. Them's the breaks as well. So, all right. So, it's just Lee Zoom. Sorry for that little outage. But hey, we're back in it. You guys were just out on the street, and I believe you basically loudly announced like, "Hey, let's go get a room at that inn, huh?" Right, or something like that.
Oh, I guess you weren't there when Tento was like, "Oh wow, we're gonna die," because everyone's bad at acting.
I did not catch that bit. Did you reiterate that bit? Because there's a good chance that got lost. Because if I wasn't there,
Nah.
the stream wasn't there.
Tento just put so after Zion does his laugh thing to help out Lonnie, he sort of just puts his hands on his face like we're gonna die. we might actually die here.
And that's what actually makes the check fail. Everything was fine until
Sure,
Kento put
sure.
his head in his hands.
Until his vote of no confidence. He didn't believe in his friends. He didn't trust the heart of the cards.
Yep, that's the reason why.
Power of friendship was not prevailing.
That's it. That's all that happened after you after it left after you after your power failed.
Yeah, after my bloop bloop.
I do
So-
also want to point out that that Tento criticizing anything charisma based of all things, that's a little sus.
And all I'm gonna say that is that I'm not trying to do anything. The harder you try, the more likely you'll fail. Try to act. You guys are overacting as as it's painfully obvious.
Alright. So, you guys find yourselves so around this way is sort of the way into the tavern, if you will, the bar, tavern, inn, scapade combo, where one can stay and get a drink. In this probably 1 to 2 horse town, honestly, not very more donkeys for this sort of a place. There's a donkey. It's not Donko, but it is a donkey, I suppose. And yeah, I moved you over the map, right? Yeah. Okay, so you guys come around, and it's a fairly normal place. There's some tables. Some people are sitting around the tables. And they're not that size. Oh, speaking of, based on the information you have, Lonnie and Zion, you guys could choose to make a Arcana test? Maybe a double deeper?
What?
His face kind of reminds me of this.
What's this for contest for?
A bit of information you might touch on while you're thinking about the alchemical potion-y kind of uses of Troll's Blood.
I am good at Arcana.
I'd also let
Yes, I
you,
am
Lonnie,
good
make
at
a religion test.
You want to roll that religion?
Okay,
there you
there we
go.
go.
Zion, Lonnie, that's the knowledge you had earlier is about the knowledge you still have. Lonnie, you can't help but remember that there were some druidic tribes who sought connection to entities through means other than the Glyakae's chosen method. One particular method that comes to mind when thinking about blood is a blood pact. Now, you're not sure that that's what's involved here, but if it is, that would rather imply that there's a very close relationship between the trolls and the people of this town. And it was sealed by a pact. And
For
that
something-
pact could have effects upon them and their abilities.
for something like a blood pact, is it like a 1-to-1, like one person, one other, like one being versus one other being, or
No,
one
for
being
the
make
blood
both
pact you're
blood pact?
for the blood pact you're thinking about, it's sort of a communal thing between two groups. It was used by some tribes to seal alliances in the bad old days, but they don't, people won't talk about that too much in the Glyke tribe. That's not a happy subject.
Why?
Uh,
Like, what does the process entail?
So you know that blood pacts exist. You know that there's a couple different ways they get done. You mostly know their religious significance, and they were just considered a little bit more hardcore than promises of friendship or marriage or intermarriage. So they didn't get done. So they got phased out in favor of less extreme things, basically, because you couldn't
not
really back out of a blood pact.
Okay. And they're not necessarily taboo. It's just like it's an all or nothing kind of deal.
It's yeah, and I mean, from your perspective as a Glyke, they're not taboo. From your time studying Nibiki, nobody really brought up anything like that, but you're pretty sure that if you had mentioned it to someone, they would probably been like, "What the fuck?"
Okay, but like if some people don't think, well, if my tribe doesn't think it's taboo, I don't think it'll involve blood sacrifices of random innocents. I would hope.
Well, bear in mind, you're just
Is
aware
that loud?
of you're aware of blood pacts that have existed, not every kind of blood pact and how they precisely
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Okay. What did we get ourselves into?
So people kind of look over. A hobgoblin barkeep says, come in, hello. Travelers, I see. Pull up a chair." And there are chairs that I will...
Is his
fully
voice
populate.
that deep and raspy?
And he's like, yes, hello. He's kind of like scuffing like the tip of his pipe. He sounds like he's got that nice Christmas song singer voice from many years of smoking.
Oh, that's my.
Mm.
He's got fields blue.
If he starts singing, I'm gonna leave. If
He
he starts
doesn't.
singing Christmas songs, I'm gonna leave. We already went through that shit. Are we in the building yet? Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there's
how many rooms?
there's like I'm gonna say there's one more goblin and one human in this John. Goblin,
That human token looks familiar. Have I seen that one before? Did that happen in the Aliens game?
Yes.
Okay, I was like, why?
No, what are you talking about? What alien?
What Aliens game, huh?
Lonnie's just gonna walk up with every intention of renting rooms.
All right.
Lonnie, do you even have money?
Yep,
That's a very
Lonnie's
good
gonna
question.
walk up with every intention of renting rooms.
And he's like, hello there, welcome. Welcome to the Mangy Goat. I'm the proprietor here.
Mangy goat.
Hi, do you have any rooms free for tonight?
Oh,
I think we're
yes.
just gonna be staying for a night.
Oh, yes, we've got quite a few vacancies. I'm sure we could accommodate your group. Would you care one room together, or... Kind of looks back at the whole group, perhaps two separate.
Lonnie is going to just like look through her coin, like just like look at her coin purse, as if she's deliberating. It's like, I think one room would be fine.
Certainly, I think 5 silver should cover the accommodations.
She's just gonna lay down, no questions asked.
Thank you. He gathers up the coins with a ASMR rattle. ASMR, the coins are rattling. Oh, I dropped one.
Oh, I dropped
You
one.
struggling
my
there
bad.
with the coins?
He like rakes them over the side into his pouch. He's like, no. Pulls out his pouch. He's like, so yes, the first one up and to the left is yours, and by which I mean up and a no, yeah, you go up and it'll be right down your left, and there's some bedrolls, and it'll be your room. There are of course windows, but we encourage you to keep the curtains drawn at night, as it can be quite drafty. It get too cold. And insight out. Who in particular are you inciting? You'll get less if you just hit everyone.
I want to incite the comment about the windows, keeping the curtains closed. Specifically.
I do just want to do a general scan of the area.
Sure.
Yep, tracks.
You're like, yeah,
It's cold.
You don't want to get too cold. You're up here by the mountains. Give me an insight for a general scan of the room. Pentoso, thieves' senses tingling, taking the situation.
Damn! Everyone got that 20 tonight.
Yay!
Amazing. Yeah. So
All right, Tento. Keep your nat ones to yourself, though.
Seriously, to myself. Because I'm the only one that can recover from them.
Yeah. So you take the gander of this place, right? And Tento, you're familiar with this sensation that you get. You feel like you're a mark being sized up. And there are people looking at you from every angle, very unassumingly, but everybody's in on it. You feel paranoid almost at this point, because it's very clear to you that everybody in this fucking building trying to act casual, but really they've all got a weapon not too far from hand. Even the peasants have unassuming tools or whatever that could be used as clubs. And they're all trying to act casual, and they're all most concerned about 120L and 210N. And everybody's taken in this room, everybody's taken in the sights, everybody's considering what your next move is, what you're going to do, where you're going to go. And you get the distinct feeling that they are on high alert, because the tavern guy is definitely lingering. At first, his eyes immediately, when you came in, went to you and Lonnie, as if though, like, probing the small folk for a familiar face. And then after that, kind of, like, peered towards Zion and 120L, as if though trying to see the face under the masks, and then just couldn't. And he's definitely thinking. And if you were in his shoes, Tento, and you were running this ruse, what you'd be thinking is, we let one person get away. We don't know where he is. I wonder if they ran into him. They already know. And so he's trying to act like everything's casual, but he's trying to figure out if you've already sussed him. Because if you've already sussed him, he needs to make the call to jump you right now. But if you haven't, and he makes the jump to call you right now, with two guys in what he assumes to be plate armor, they're not going to win that fight, most likely. So he's a razor thin margin of what his next move is. But right now, you've rolled up and you're full heal. You've rolled up, you've got your stuff. By the way, wait, Shin, talk?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I could hear you.
Okay.
Not knowing
that
how
knowledge.
they're sizing us up, though. Actually, yeah, Tento, go first. Lonnie wanted to ask the barkeep a question, though, or the tavern keep.
I'm gonna have the tavern person here. Have you heard about those like orcs that's been running around lately, pillaging some villages?
He, like, in a very generic barkeep way, is polishing a stein. And he's like, oh yeah, I heard there are some fools running around down south. In my experience, they give a wide berth to a place like ours, so I don't think that we have anything to worry about.
What was their name again? Do you recall?
And he thinks about it, and he says, nobody mentioned a name, just that there were some orc raiders. don't get too many travelers through here, so I'm not very abreast of the latest news.
Really, in
Um,
such a beautiful town, not too many travelers.
He kind of chuckles and says, "We're out of the way. In case you didn't notice, there's not many roads that lead here, and we're not on any of the major rivers."
Lonnie's gonna pipe in like, well, have you had any recently? Just we were hoping to run into some friends of ours, and just wondering if they passed by here already, or did we miss them?
And he's like, kind of looks at you. He's like, "Oh, friends, what are they like? Who are
Well,
they? What are
and
their
the-
names?
and-
What do they look like?"
and Lonnie's going to specifically point out the descriptions that can match like a lot of people. Like, you know, they're goblins. I think they usually travel together. So if they are all together, there's three. The three should be together, but I don't know. Maybe one went off by himself. Like, and then just like the generic like, hair color, as long as they're not too unique.
Do you designate? Do you say 3 goblins, or do you say 2 goblins and a bugbear? Because Cal was with a goblin and a bugbear.
Oh, okay.
Do you say that, or do you say we're looking for 3 goblins?
Oh, then, yeah, just like they might all be together. The two of them are goblins, and then she's gonna start with the goblins and describe just their hair color,
All
and
right.
any other very generic ones that could be,
Pento,
doesn't.
Ento, you note of noticeable ratcheting up of tension in the room. Oh shit! I saw the break screen up. What am I doing? You notice a palpable tension rising in the room here, Tento, as people are kind of like looking around, and he's like, he thinks about it. He's like,
You know what?
Well, that's a familiar description of a goblin, but I can't say I've seen 2 goblins and a bugbear moving quite that. Oh, one of them might be.
She didn't say bugbear.
Oh wait, okay, so she didn't. Okay,
She
okay.
just wants to
No,
talk
she said
about the two
goblins.
goblins.
Yeah.
She just talking, but you say there's 3 people, or you just say
There's 3 people, and she just starts off with the goblins.
He nods. He's like, all right. I can't
I
say
just
that it's too
remembered
familiar.
what the name of those orcs were. I think they were called the White Chalk Orcs, or Chalk White Orcs, or something like that.
And he's like, oh well, you know,
I think-
raiders like to give themselves fancy names for legitimacy. You know.
Yeah, but I think I heard around the other town before that they might be coming around this way.
Kind of looks taken aback at that, and as everyone's like, huh? He like stop drinking.
Yeah.
Look over, and he's like,
You didn't hear about that?
what direction did you come from? Who did you hear that from?
Where were we before?
Technically speaking, you've come north from Faraziwa.
We came from north from Ziwa.
And he's like, how did you hear they were headed our way from the north? You must have good ears.
Yeah, I just eavesdropped on a couple conversations. They got the Anorak community real scared.
And he said, he thinks about it, he's like, I can't think the last time we had an Anorak through here.
No, it's-
Maybe a month ago? Only one of them.
yeah, there's just a couple Anoraks. I guess they weren't really keeping their volume down. They're just saying how much of a warpath they're on. They said they were heading down this way.
Really? They said up to this village.
Mm-hmm.
Strange. These Anoraks thought that the orcs are coming to our village. He thinks about it, and he's like, well, rumors are rumors, but, you know. He kind of looks at some people, and they kind of look back at him, and he's like, I'll let everyone know. That's concerning. Appreciate the news.
Yeah. Of course. Now, where are our rooms again?
Up those stairs. It'll be right in front of you and to the left a bit. He points to the staircase.
The quick clarification.
Yes.
If like because I only mentioned the 2 goblins, did he even answer, or and like did the tension actually rise up?
The tension did not rise. He basically was just kind of like, think I've seen anyone like that. So you kind of kept it flying casual, as far as you or Tento can tell. Nothing really changed.
Okay. But the fact that he's denying that anyone like that passed through is telling. Okay, cool. Yep. So, guess we'll head up then.
And to clarify, you guys arrived like earlier in the day.
It was like
Yeah.
It was like the first thing that we did when we.
Yeah,
woke
so this is
up.
like the first third of daylight. This is before noon. So for
Well, we did spend an hour, but yeah.
yeah, but it's roughly the morning approaching midday. So but you want to go upstairs, check out the room.
Yeah.
All right, he's like, enjoy your accommodations. Let me know if you need to bring up any more bedrolls. And someone kind of mutters like, since when did they let wolves in here? But they don't say it so loud that they're like trying to start shit. More like they're probably talking to somebody else as you walk away. Feel free to do or not do anything about that at your preference.
Well,
But-
Lonnie, once we get into the room, Lonnie just wants to see if it's
Yeah.
if how thin the walls are and stuff like that.
Alright, so there's a sliding paper door to the north, south, and to the west, east, and south. The one immediately in front of you slides out to reveal your room. There's presently 3 bedrolls in here, and that's about it. There's 2 windows, they face the street below.
Okay.
And they're more or less over the doorway, or the like the front door into the tavern.
Mm-hmm. And can we hear the like noises from downstairs through the floor?
I can also hear the noises of Jake, Mike.
Damn it.
So
Is this better? Is this
Uh,
better?
I haven't heard. I just heard a little, but I think it's better.
Okay, let's
wait.
try this then.
So you scope out the street. You scope out the sounds, and you kind of like try and listen in. They're not the thickest floors in the world, but they are. There's significant wooden joinery to make a sturdy building close to a cliff face. So it's the stuff between is a little bit more the spotty question, but there's decent insulation for elevation. So if you keep your voices down and you don't walk too heavy, you should be fine, with the exceptions of 120L and Zion. If either of them move, they're going to hear that shit.
Yeah. Lonnie wants to go over to the other doors and were there any other staircases? Is this like the only way to the second floor?
The only staircase you've seen.
Okay. Lonnie wants to just crack open the
Yeah, you quickly crack it open. It seems to be an almost identical room, except the 2 windows here lead out to an alleyway and to a little alcove to the southeast of the building where you saw some barrels and a back door.
and the ones to the south.
You pop into the one to the south. It seems to be a smaller room with only 2 bedrolls laid out at the moment. It's got windows southeast and west, and it mostly opens out into the square and that alcove previously mentioned near the back door. And that seems to be the full sum of rooms available here.
She wants to check the right one for any signs of a scuffle recently.
Sure. Roll me an investigation. And does anybody else do anything when you see Lonnie go into the one to the right?
She's also gonna guidance herself.
Like Roshi's just gonna not like stick his neck out,
Yep.
but just like be at the doorway, be like, oh yeah, I'll keep like at least an eye on you, make sure you don't leave visual range. In case you know you get stolen.
Well, that didn't go great.
Yeah, so
It is a
Oh.
perfectly normal room.
Lonnie, you fluff a pillow. It seems fine.
Dan's gonna walk over. Is like, what are you doing?
I'm trying to see which room those 3 stayed in.
Do you?
but I don't think it was this one.
I just see you fluffing a pillow. Lonnie, all you're doing is fluffing a pillow.
Yeah, it I don't know, it didn't really look slept on, so guess it's not this room.
Okay, stand there for a second.
So Tento, you take note of the fact that there is a loose bit of floorboard in the northwest of this room, and you kind of feel like it could probably be moved aside, and it's like a colder patch of floor, and you knock on it. It sounds almost hollow. You think that the insulation has been removed from this patch of floor, and that it's a deliberate hatch that can be climbed into from below.
Oh.
And this is over the back room, so people could enter into the back room and then enter into this room without using the stairs.
Huh. Wonder why this is here.
Why? What is here?
I showed them the hatch.
There's more or less a top hatch and a bottom hatch. A false floor and a false roof, or it's the real roof and the real floor, but designed to be able to slide away. So like Tento pops it open and shows you a cubby that could open into a portal, basically.
Oh. Is there one in our room?
Tento hasn't checked. Tento, with that investigation, I'll let you do a round robin of all three of them. No, it's only over the back room one.
Nope, just that room.
And this, we are sure that they directed us towards this room.
They directed you towards this room, yes.
Huh.
I never asked. Roshi, what are your thoughts about these people?
What do you mean?
You didn't think they were acting strange, or...
Oh no, they're super sus. But I
Okay.
mean, we're not really in a position to do something about it. At least not yet.
Oh,
Well,
Lonnie wants to investigate this room for signs of a scuffle.
I mean,
I don't know if she'll find anything new. Does she just fluff up more pillows?
Because you did not roll great, I will let you roll. While you were looking around,
I'm fine with taking the last roll.
Tento also looks around, and I would say that Tento, you think that this place has been cleaned up really well, but you do see like a recently replaced board that looks like you can't think of a reason that board would have been replaced so much before all of the others if it hadn't been broken. It's like a wall board. Like some weapon or something crashed through here, and then to tie the place up, the old broken ones had to be snapped out and new ones placed in.
Huh. Interesting.
It's worth noting there are no northern-facing windows in this building.
What's north?
that's weird.
Did we see what was north of this building?
It seems to be built up right alongside another building.
Okay.
From the looks of it, it was just someone's house. Possibly the innkeeper's, considering there doesn't seem to be a room for him here.
Well, this place is suspicious. We concluded that. What else would
Well-
you like to look at, Lonnie?
Tonight, I think Zion and 210 should stay here, because I think they'll hear where they move. But
I don't think we should separate. Not gonna lie,
I
that's
agree.
Plus, last time I checked, I'm pretty sure Zion's sneaker than you are.
but it's not lighter than me. I'm not saying to separate. I'm just, well, I mean, I kind of am, but I think we should be the ones ambushing them.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I don't feel like fighting at the moment. Hopefully we don't have to do that, Lonnie. Because I'd rather not. It's not.
Wait, why?
It's this whole town. It's not just like some random people in the town. It's everyone here. I'd rather not get in a fight with a whole town.
It's fair.
Hopefully they think better of it trying to ambush us, but I'd rather not.
I mean, everyone was eyeing us as if we're candy. Boy,
I am
they
a
definitely
snack, don't you
think
know?
that we have something that they want, or they want to hide something from us.
Well, they're definitely hiding the fact that other people have been by recently.
By the way, with the passive perception of 19, Tento, you would hear a pitter-pattering of human feet. It sounds like someone's left the bar below.
It's a bar. Someone just left, but it's a bar. People leave and come home in bars all the time.
I just don't think we should all be caught in this room. Because I
we're
think
much
it's going
safer
to
being in this
happen.
room.
Because of what? Oh.
Sorry,
Goodbye, Roshi.
no, I
Okay.
assumed
Oh,
this
no,
was
the
all.
trap!
I assumed this was all happening in one room. But if you guys want to have the conversation
no,
from that range, you could.
No, we were just wondering why we just lost sight of Hiroshi. I was like, oh, there he goes.
I was just sliding the doors back to a neutral close position. You could hang if you want to leave them open. You can. I just assumed.
No, it's fine. It's like I agree, but if we move, we need to move all together. This last thing we want to do is
I know, there's not a lot of room in here.
yeah. So let's go
And-
explore the town. I'm
And
sure
I
we'll find
don't
something
know
fun.
what they're going to do, but whatever it is, if they do have a plan besides just whacking us, I do think Zion, and assuming 210 is as tough as Zion, or even anywhere close to that, it won't work on them.
Oh no, they're terrified of them. Like they are not comfortable around either of those two. I don't know why. Zion's a sweetheart, so
There's
there's no reason to be scared.
I don't know what other measures they have, but they're expecting us to be in this room.
Right,
And
well,
I think that we should not be in this room.
what's the time of day again?
It's still like
like
noon
afternoon.
at the earliest, I think.
Okay, so let's get out of this
Lunchtime.
room. So for now, let's just go, like I said, explore town. Let's get out of the room. Even if they do ambush us, at least we'll be out of here.
I feel like they're going to wait until tonight.
Eh,
I mean,
Unless
can't
we
go
give
to
them a
bed.
reason
We-
not to.
I still think we need to stick together, mainly because if we split up, it's easier for them to nab us. If they're trying to just nab us.
Also,
Hmm?
Yep.
can you see the background noise?
I can
Still?
hear him.
Sorry.
I can barely hear him. What the fuck?
Maybe I'm just like listening to it now that I'm aware. Never mind. Anyway.
Okay, let's try this then. Well, I just think we should give them cause to believe that we're sleeping here even if we're not.
I don't think we're gonna be able to deceive the people here if we leave. They've got
No, it's
trapdoors.
this
here.
room specifically.
They've got trapdoors here. It seems like they're a They've
organized.
got trapdoors going to different levels. They most likely have ways to figure out what's or who's in this room and eavesdrop on us or some shape or form.
That's what I'm concerned about. What else is in this room? Well, do we want to make him think like we're going to be an easy catch, or do we want to try to scare them off now before anything happens?
I don't know.
Oh, I was muted. I'll say, definitely let them think they were easy catch. It's much easier to catch them by surprise.
Is Tento still carrying his armory?
Do I still have all my weapons in my bag? Yes, I do.
Yeah, hella weapons on Tento. What do you find? What do you find?
Well, if we want to make us seem like an easy catch, I think that's the first thing that has to go.
I'm not leaving my stuff.
I'm not saying leaving it. Lonnie holds out her bag of holding.
Oh, that's so much stuff to put in there.
You're not using all of it.
That doesn't mean I don't. What? Just because I'm not using it now doesn't mean I won't use it later. Besides, don't you think it'd be weird if I was suddenly walking around without? They saw me walk around with all of it already.
Oh, point.
We haven't been all around town yet.
Since Tento starts telling out stuff, he's like, all right, let's see. Got 4 daggers, throws in the bag. A black iron
Do keep track of
scimitar.
what's in there. I'm not going to remember.
Yeah,
what
no,
you put
I
in
got
there.
it. Black iron
Just one check
scimitar.
down.
Tento basically opens one bag full of weapons and pours it into an infinite bag that is now going to be infinitely full of weapons.
No, he's like, wait. Wait, I'm gonna keep the black iron scimitar just in case.
But we
but-
probably shouldn't do anything to.
Like,
If we want to seem like an easy catch, we should be careful about what we do here.
I'll walk aside. I think that's all the dangerous things I have on me. I think. Yeah, it probably is. Even when I put away all my stuff, I still have 5 weapons, 6 weapons on me.
All right.
6,
well,
yeah.
Technically, anything that can get you
Sneak attack.
finesse is a really dangerous weapon.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Yeah.
sneak attack.
Yeah.
Now Zion and 120L is 120L going to stay in the room, or is it 120L going to come with you?
It's coming with
Good
us.
question.
All right. So y'all roll up.
Okay,
Sure, what was I
Autobots,
gonna
roll out.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, actually no. Bonnie wants to see if Lumi can like catch a scent of who's been in like
Hmm.
I guess one that
Lonnie tries to. So you want her to sniff the sense of like who's been in here recently and try and like identify one of them distinctly.
yeah, if there's one that kind of has the same like strength of presence as Cal. Like-
Yeah, more or less. She says that she smells a bugbear, and she doesn't think there's been
Oh,
another
cool.
bugbear in here too
That
recently.
works. Could she follow the scent?
Lumi says she can smell it coming in here, and can you smell it around here, but it gets muffled on the way out. She could try to sniff it out, but she does think to you it would be pretty obvious. Because
Okay.
she's got to walk around and go
Yeah.
to track down a
Uh-huh.
faint scent. That being said, you could walk around and she could let you know if she detects it in a stronger way somewhere, or if she thinks she's picked up the trail. but she's not making any guarantees because something muffles it after it leaves.
Muffled. I guess a sack might do it.
Yeah, if they were like completely enshrouded in say a sack,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that the scent would be gone, it would be much harder to trace than normal though.
And I guess like one last thing, the windows, is there any like roof or something we can like help break our fall if we need to go out the window, or just jump and deal with the consequences?
Technically speaking, this is only a 5-foot fall. So it's
Okay,
actually
so we wouldn't do any.
well because
Okay.
you would go outside and then you would drop 5 feet. If you dropped from the roof of this building, you would traverse
Okay.
10 feet downwards rather than. I think that as I would rule it, as long as you landed okay on your fall, you would not take falling damage.
Okay.
If you got thrown out or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Or if you like tripped on your way out and fell on your face.
Okay. Why would they not want us to look out the window though?
Great question.
I don't know. We could just go outside and look at it from the outside, right?
Yeah, do you guys want to slide outside into the street, take a look around?
Yeah. Lonnie's gonna ask Lumi to try not to growl at people. I know you're gonna hate this, but maybe try to act a little more like a dog.
And Lumi's like, did not like that suggestion. But she says, these peasants can be safe for now, but I do not trust them. And
I don't either, which is why I don't want them to know what you can do.
you guys, she's satisfied with that. When you guys come down, the taverner's like, you two are friends in plate armor, not going to take them off? Bodyguards, perhaps, or ritters? We don't have those in our lands, but I'm given to understand they fond of their armor.
Yeah, bodyguards.
Yeah, this is a war-torn countryside.
Oh, so
We're gonna take every precaution.
fair enough. And where are you traveling? I might ask. 2 bodyguards and significant plate armor. What business would you have in a small town like ours? Is there anything we can get for you? If you're merchants, we do have wonderful herbs that we grow.
Ooh,
We're
yes.
just trying to get out of here before things get any worse.
That's understandable. Things are bad, and you're thinking of taking the Western Pass. You should know you head for a hilly and mountainous country. I'd suggest that you find an able guide if you do not already have one. Although perhaps, and he kind of like his eyes linger between Tento and Lonnie, and then he just doesn't say anything further.
Why?
Well,
Why is he doing
do
that?
you
You could roll
have
in.
any suggestions?
Think
No,
so.
Lonnie. I think Lonnie's gonna leave the insight to Tento now.
Yeah, you get insight. He's implying that maybe between an Ilkyros and a forest gnome who looks kind of like a druid, y'all might have the wilderness travel on lock. Like maybe
Yeah, okay.
he's being presumptuous to think that he could find you a better guide, and he's trying not to offer offense. But when you do ask, he'd say, "Some of our hunters go into the mountains with great frequency, and yeah, I'm sure we could connect you with someone. In fact, Tibir and a hobgoblin puts down a stein he was drinking from. He's like, and you notice he does look a little different from other hobgoblins. He steps up, he walks over. He's like, yeah. And based on like his gait, his relative size, his relative muscle mass, the relative like span of his, like it's not like he's a big hobgoblin. It's like he's bigger than a hobgoblin, or at least like differently shaped. You'd think he's a half orc. And he's like, they're heading to the mount. They might be heading to the mountains soon. They have to traverse over to the west. Yeah, I'm not west. He eyes you up, and The barman's like, yeah, they're looking for a guide. Maybe you could help them over to the next town west, and, well, I'm sure, he gesticulates to you and your bodyguards, they could offer fine compensation, as you can tell from their entourage. Tabir thinks about it, and he's like, I could take that job.
Oh, please do.
And thinks
That
about
would
it,
be
and he
lovely.
says, when are you thinking to leave?
Tomorrow morning.
First light, then. Alright. I'll take you across the mountains. 10 gold. Half here, half on the other side.
I turned to group. That sounds good to everyone else.
Not particularly, but I mean, it won't hurt.
Well, I mean, there's really no price you can put on safety, so Lonnie's just gonna give him 5 gold now then.
He opens up his palm, he takes it. He's like, he weighs it, he performatively bites it, he pockets it, and says, pleasure doing business with you. Where will we meet? Here?
Yeah,
Here
just
sounds
here is
good.
fine. We don't really know the town after all.
Alright. Tomorrow morning, first light, we head through the mountains. I'll take you to a town in the east. East of the province over. By the time you're there, you'll no longer be in Cathadak. The war should be behind you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Wait, sorry. Did you say we're heading east?
No.
East of the town over.
We'll be in the east, one province over, but we'll no longer be in Western Cathadak.
Okay.
No. I will not be guiding you east. That would be a bad idea if you're looking to get away from the war.
I just got confused. I just want to make sure.
That's a good point.
If you were guiding us there, I
Sorry,
would say you're a very
Orochi.
bad guide.
Yeah, we're going west of the mountains. You could call it a journey to the
Uroshi's a little
west.
hard to hear sometimes, you know. His time as a hermit has made his listening awful.
A
I'm
hermit.
just like, what the fuck are you talking about, face? The Tento?
And
See,
Tibir,
he just doesn't.
there's a little light
just-
behind Tibir's eyes when you say the name Orochi. If anybody, particularly Orochi, might want to give an insight check.
Yeah, I would. I don't recognize this person, right?
Not at all. And he's like, a mountain hermit. Yeah, you probably know your way around. His eyes flashed kind of like with the gleam of gold when he heard the name Orochi.
Oh, fuck.
It does occur to you that there were
At one
the
point,
eye
I was
probably
a very wanted
Yeah,
person.
you were a very wanted person. And while
Do
the
we all have a
organization
bounty on our head
offering that
now?
bounty is no longer in the region actively, one, news probably hasn't reached Tibir. Two, no reason for him to believe the bounty isn't still good if he can get you back to the capital. Whether or not he would or not, you definitely saw cash register signs behind his eyes when he recognized your name. And Tento, you get the same idea, basically. This is the bounty hunter's grin, more or less.
Hey Zion, when are
Tento
you
just
gonna
sort of,
get
like,
to
laugh.
flaunt a bounty? Who do you think has the most expensive bounty?
Tento just sort of laughs at that, like,
If this was One Piece, I'm probably Chopper with the one gold bounty.
Even though you probably are probably the most threatening.
Wait, you're the one that broke a gate. I think. Oh, gosh.
No one knows about that.
Fair enough.
Do they not? You sure about that?
Yep. Mhm.
Pretty sure, yeah. Okay. So, okay, guys, let's go explore town.
But seriously, I'm very curious who has the most expensive bounty.
Tenta.
So if
Is
you
that
guys
even a
want
question?
to, beyond the town square, I have produced a small map that I will show you here. See this? I done
Yeah.
it? All right. This is a crude overview of the town. And I will make a little.
Looks brilliant.
You see the two poise that would normally have a thing on them. They're just the town base. They're like the gates, right? And then there's the pass to the north. And then we're gonna use this green one to represent the town square. So there is like these like cliffside paths. There are gardens, and there's lots of moss growing. In fact, it's like this There's rich green moss, particularly like on the upside of some of these rocks and further up. And you see in some places there's like trellised off sections and boxes near and around them. And you can smell something pungent coming from that area. But you also just see like basically every house out back or along the side or window boxes will have they got growth going on, and like there's like it's like they centered around the crevices of the rock, and they appear to be like leafy greens and deep rooted things. You see fresh carrots, some onion.
Tintin wants some vegetables.
Yeah,
He
there's.
wants to look at those herbs and stuff.
I mean, for basically a few coppers, any of the vendors in town will sell you some of their greens, and it's good money to them.
On second thought,
What kind of
why-
greens are we talking about here?
What kind of leafy greens in particular? Well, they got heads of lettuce. There's radishes, turnips, some rutabaga, leeks. You know, a horseradish, a bit of mint, some chives, even.
Ooh.
I was expecting the more exotic kind of herbs when you first said that. Not gonna lie.
Oh, sorry. So, you do notice there's the moss along the mountain, and there's like these boxes for growing, and there's like a weird smell coming from the houses. They look a little bit more based on like the stuff around them, and the fact that they have like these dedicated chimneys, like maybe herbalists' abodes. You could go check that out if you're looking for like an herb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You come
That's for
upon.
friend, not for me.
You come across there's
Of
like
course.
there's an herbalist sign on one of them, and there's kind of like a child throwing rocks at lined up bits of stone outside. They see you and they yell, "Customers!" And there's a woman's voice from inside saying, "Customers!" And they kind of come out and look, and they're like, "Oh, outsiders." And this older hobgoblin woman kind of like cracks the door, leans out, and says, "Hey, looking to buy some herbs?"
Tintin looks around, like, Roshi, what are we doing here?
Honestly, I don't know.
What do you wanted to come here?
Well, yes, but in general, people that sell these kinds of things also tend to sell kind of information. Is that not what your type of people do? They sell exotic stuff and they sell
Okay,
information.
Hiroshi? I take Hiroshi back a little bit. Hiroshi? If
What?
anything, everyone in this town is in on the whole, kidnapping thing. So I think the last thing you want to do is snoop around and ask people who live here what's up.
The whole... Nah, there's no way the whole town is in on this.
Okay.
Hey, Hurricane. Can the rest of us hear what?
I
Yeah, I'm
assume the
sure-
party's
I
moving as
know.
one. I assume the
Yeah.
party's moving as one.
Yeah.
Hey, Hurricane. Trolls are a little hard to hide.
So, as I was saying, Tento, I don't know if, I guess it's possible that everyone.
It's kind of like trying to back. Tintin's just like,
Someone clip that shit.
all right. Yes, I would
I
like
mean,
to buy some.
this
yeah,
is
some-
your area's expertise. You didn't seem like you were gonna do anything about it, so I was gonna
I-
step up.
Hey,
Hi, yes, we are just some customers, and I am looking to
Hey.
purchase.
you see
Maybe
that
something
leaf
to
Lumi
relax.
behind, right?
You see what?
You see that leaf Lumi behind, right?
Oh, okay. Hold on, wait. Before we go too far, Okay. Well, cloak and.
just- She's just gonna chill in the room, and if anyone comes in there, Lonnie would very much like to know.
Yeah, so she'll basically instantly inform you telepathically if anyone comes in the room. Yeah, so you're not walking around with the wolf, so you're slightly less weirdly looked at. She looks at you. She looks.
Ever so slightly.
She looks at your guards, and she says, So what was that you said you were looking to obtain? My
Oh.
fine friends? And she kind of like cracks her door open a little bit as if though she's gonna invite you inside.
Oh, just a little something to help us relax.
She's like, I'm sure I can find something of that nature. Come, come. And she lets the door, kind of lie open, and she invites you into the foyer of her abode, which you would note does have a bit of a downy rug, which is quite nice, all things considered. Also, hers is one of the houses that does actually kind of have a partially stone wall, so it's pretty thick in terms of its supports there. I will move you guys as I fucking speed map.
I actually wasn't sure which building you were referencing this whole time.
Now, where's 120L? Oh,
He's in the tavern right now on the first floor. By the
all right,
stairs.
I'll grab him. Yeah, because you guys are like up here at this point, like you're like as far as you can get in town from the town square without going further to the west or east. You guys step in, right? There's like a nice wood floored area around the carpet or the rug rather, and she basically. She's got some like alchemical bubbling stuff going on in the back. She's got a fire going, and you smell poignant herbs. And she says, "Trying to relax because you have pain you need to be distracted from. Are you trying to relax in a more recreational sense? I might need more specifics." And
A recreational sense.
And-
Yeah, my friend and I are trying to enjoy the night a little
shut
more
up.
than.
yeah, and
It's
she thinks about it, and she's like, "Oh yes, I can certainly do that for you."
Please do.
Like, oh, I'm so confused.
Just don't say anything. Let's just go in and out. We don't need to stay here any longer than we need to.
Alright, and you're trying to buy some herbs. And she picks up what you're laying down. And she comes back and she says, "So, the moss we grow here is used in some poultices and some other things. But there's a little known secret about it, which is to say, there's a certain parasite that loves to grow alongside it. It blooms up. We call it, we call it a few names. But the children affectionately call it rock nuggets, because it looks a bit like... And she pulls out these, like, pellets, and they look kind of like pebbles, except they look more like a storal sponge in how they've got, like, this cavernous thing. And she takes one, she peels it open, and it almost opens like wrapping paper, and then it can go from a condensed size to a much larger size. And she then proceeds to cut it up on a table with a cutting board, and like lay it out as if though she's cutting an onion. And she says, "You smoke this in a pipe, it'll take you for a ride, but I wouldn't operate any carts for a few hours afterwards." That's what I'm saying. And
It's like a
Consider it.
rock.
it's-
Why would you smoke it?
and it's 1 gold per pebble. And I'll get you a few. She points out the fact that there's like 11 cuts from one of them, all evenly spaced to about a pinky's width.
Yeah, we'll take 2.
What? It's a rock. You can't smoke it. What?
Roshi, what I just is just
And so she cuts it up. You get 22 doses. 22 doses of rock pebble.
22?
Well, because
Yeah,
there's
'cause
11 per.
yeah. There's 11 per.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Lon-
Those-
can
those-
can
those
Lonnie
just
grab
cut it.
one off of Tento and inspect and just like inspect it?
Do you think I'm gonna fucking?
Zion whispers, "See, they're edible."
But yeah,
Uh,
can Lonnie look at it and see if it seems legit?
Wisdom herbalism.
Rock pebble. Oh my gosh!
It looks like a full unfoldable rock, maybe kind of like a sponge to touch it. I don't know. You wouldn't put that in your body. That doesn't seem like a great idea, honestly.
Yeah,
Thank
all
you.
yours, Scout.
And
you for your
she's
services.
like, "Thanks for your business. Will you be here long?" Kind of like looks you over and says, "Ah, you must be some important people outside. I don't get much word of the outside world these days, not since my dear husband passed."
Oh, sorry for your loss.
Kind of makes a face and says, "You always bit off more than you could chew." Well, that was all years ago now, anyway. Things are the way they are.
Well, again, thank you for your services, and we
Pleasure doing
would be
business.
needing.
Yes, you want to peace out from her store.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
She's like, "Oh, but I could also give you a potion or a poultice or But yeah, you guys are peacing out, and she's like, "Oh well,
Yeah.
see you if I'm seeing you," and you fuck off, right?
Yeah.
All right. You
She's
guys
like
return-
Tento's like just rubbing his nose now. He's like, oh god.
All right, so
Very
you guys are back in town. You have successfully obtained 22 doses of rock pebble, and Lonnie's immediate assessment is that probably shouldn't go inside your body. That probably is a bad idea.
No, Lonnie.
And
I
it makes
hope
no,
you
and
relax.
it comes as no surprise that Scout was the one that made that purchase.
Well, someone had to buy something from her. Otherwise, it looked kind of weird just to enter a shop.
So Tenta, what kind of information did you gather? I
Nothing.
don't understand how you do these
We
things.
weren't
but...
gathering information. We
Well, I
already
thought that
know
was the
what's gonna
whole thing.
happen. There's no point to gathering information. We're just waiting for it to happen.
By the way, so you guys are having this in presumably a really hushed tone, but in the street, right?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
The kid comes out, and he kind of like the kid who was throwing rocks earlier, who's like a small hobgoblin boy. Kind of looks at you for a moment. He looks at the door. He looks at you like he's thinking about something, and he walks up to Tento because they're roughly on the same height.
Wait,
enough.
who's
Yeah.
taller?
He's taller than Lonnie. He's I think. And he's like, did you talk to her about my dad?
Oh, it's your mother?
And he kind of looks around and he's like, well, kind of. They raised me. They're my grandparents, or she's my grandparent.
Yes. I'm sorry for your loss.
He,
Just said she
he's,
just said that. Sorry, go on.
he waits. He waits for what you say.
Yeah, she just mentioned that. He said father, right? Or
Yeah, but then he more or less says that he refers to his grandparents as his mother and father.
yeah, he said that unfortunately he bit off more than he could chew a lot of times. Sorry to hear.
And he's really frustrated. He throws a rock at the ground. He's like, doesn't mean anything. I don't know what happened. Kick some dirt.
Nice. Do you remember when you last saw him?
And this is, I was really little. It was 5 years ago. I don't remember that much. I just remember there was shouting. It was bad. Yeah. Well,
Sorry to hear that, buddy.
yeah. The kid was upset. But when you seem to not know anything, he runs off. And his grandma pokes her head out the window and says, "Don't bother the customers."
All right, that's family drama that we do not need to be involved in. Let's go.
So yeah, so you guys just walk the town generally for an amount of time.
I am buying vegetables.
You buy some vegetables. You get a nice leek. Unlike in Barotrauma, where you don't want a leek. There's no such thing as a nice leek in Barotrauma. And you go for a bit of a walk about town. As you're buying stuff, you can't help but notice that some of the houses are underpopulated. Most houses, most houses in Cathadak are a mix of people and sometimes multi-generational homes. And there's a mix of like door arches and styles, because some of them are goblin only, and you don't need to build that tall of a house for goblins comparatively, right? Or at least not that tall of a doorway. And the town looks less populated than it should be. It looks like the carrying capacity of this town is higher than the amount of people living here, by a wide enough margin to raise questions. Now, this is Cathadak. People in other towns you've seen other towns have been underpopulated because of impressment, war, and economic issues. But this place doesn't seem to have economic issues. You haven't heard anything about people here being impressed, but you don't think they're immune. So maybe they're just off to war, but it's not just military-aged people.
Huh. Anybody else notice the lack of people here?
I mean, other towns have been a little lacking in. I mean, do you not remember the first town?
I know, but like this one seems a bit more lacking.
CatCon also looked very visibly fallen on hard times. This place doesn't like it like by like a rich person standards, this is a shit heap. But by village in Cathadak standards, it's pretty nice. They got a nice little palisade wall. They're in a defensible position. They've got their hillside gardens. They could probably feed more people. Looks like the agriculture is scaled too.
Rather healthy for what the water condition has been like.
Well, maybe they didn't piss off the local druids.
It's worth noting
That
there's a well, and you also see up in the upper levels water catching troughs. You suspect they get runoff. They get mountain runoff, and so they capture rainwater, and they have a well out here. You haven't seen blight for many miles, and you don't see any sign of heavy industry or mining, even though you assume there's probably something worth mining in these hills.
Well, I don't know what to make of it yet. As we're walking around town, though, Lonnie wants to like try to keep track of the troll foot traffic and see if there's any particular direction that they tend to be heading.
Yeah, there's the pass in and out of town to the north is definitely where they come from.
Is there any place they seem to be going?
They seem to
after
gather.
come from town?
They seem to gather in the town center, like the big trudge footfalls come to and from the pass and gather in the town center.
Okay, then are there any like local pets?
Are there any local pets? That's a good question.
Are you trying to talk to fucking gophers again?
Some people keep kips. There's a kip coop. There's a kip coop.
I really hope kips are more intelligent than they come off as. Although at the same time, the implications of that are a little sad.
Kip.
Honey,
Am I aware that like can people understand me when I'm speaking in animals or just look
no,
like I'm...
but you fucking look like you're speaking to animals. So feel free. I would note that people tend to have the kips cooked up right outside their house, like in their backyard, and like they can hear the kips going kip kip like through the window. So, feel free. If you want, I mean, does that sound like an okay situation that you'd open up? I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, that it sounds like I think you make animal sounds when you speak to animals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is
So
a
they'll have no
magic
idea.
spell.
They'll have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah.
They'll have no idea what you're saying, and if you play it off right, you could come off like you're like, I'm just making cute animal sounds, and the animal's making sounds
Yeah,
back to me.
well,
But if someone was
that's what I
really
was
checking you
thinking.
out, especially if they knew anything about magic, they might put two and two together. Additionally, you're presently rocking like the more shamanistic garb, yeah?
Yeah, she's not rock. She doesn't have the religious stuff on though.
Right. But the tattoos don't go away, even if you cover up some of them. And they kind of have a vibe. I mean, I'm just letting you know that Lonnie, in her experience, could reasonably expect that someone might look at that, and you might need to do some convincing to be like, nothing was going on there. What are you talking about? Before you talk to a kip in someone's yard, right? But there is, I would say, at least one of the hunters has a dog. Like a mangy looking hound, probably kind of hairy, gnarled, barks at you, definitely smells something, interprets it as something that it doesn't like. Arr. Arr.
You know what? Yeah, Lonnie's gonna talk to the dog.
Okay, so the dog comes up to you, and it's like tied by a chain outside of this like hunter's lodge where you see hunter's cabin, where you see he's got like some hides tanning. You see blood splatters in like seeping out from near like a side room where there's definitely a butchery. The hunter seems to be out, but not with his dog at the moment. So yeah, you're other than maybe a neighbor scene, you're kind of alone on the street. Unless you guys are doing like a really paranoid check if there's anybody around. Reasonably certain that nobody's watching.
This one, Lonnie's gonna be a little less concerned about people.
Alright, because you're like barking back and forth with the dog, sure. So you give the talk to animals to this mangy hound.
Yeah.
All right, and
Not a
the moment you cast it, you can understand what it's saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saying wolf, wolf, wolf at you.
Wait, it's saying wolf?
It's barking, but the bark means wolf. It's calling out wolf at you very pointedly. As it turns out, hunters and wolves tend to not get along,
Yeah.
and hunters' dogs don't tend to like wolves.
Lonnie's just
Not
gonna say,
nearly
"I'm-"
as charismatic as the coyotes, who sometimes,
Lonnie's just gonna say like, "I'm no wolf, but I sure know that I can bring one if you don't calm down."
It's like,
Threatening a
oh,
dog.
when Master gets back, you're gonna have a bad time.
What are you gonna say to him? Does he also talk to you?
He knows when I point, he looks, he sees. He's clever, more clever than you. Ha! Wolf,
I'm just seeing Lonnie like
wolf scent.
barking at some dog. I was like, "Are you okay, Lonnie?"
Yeah, to clarify, she's barking in the street at a dog who's a mangy dog on a chain tied to a post in this guy's house, like pulling the post forward as it like occasionally lunges in her direction.
Lonnie is going to respond in Dice Break like, he looked at me funny, okay? And Lonnie's just gonna go back to barking at the dog.
All right, you bark at the dog. The dog
Actually,
is
just like
the dog is saying
like,
wolf,
we're gonna die
wolf
here."
scent, wolf friend,
What do you usually point at then, huh?
meat like you.
Like me?
Oh shit.
Druids,
Sorry,
they're
that was
terrible
awkward.
things. You have a scent around you, herbs, mud, and water. Delicious water. Water I would love to lick. I hate you. I hate you for it. I hate what you have. Deny to the master what you covet in your woods, the wolves in the wild lands. Wolf scent. Dart, dart. Doggo, not of friendly disposition at this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to. So, but you haven't caught a lot of it though.
You'll find out. And the dog
Look
starts
at
making
you,
the weirdest
just all
fucking dog
bark,
sounds you've
no
ever heard.
bite.
It
But
lunges.
you can't hunt
it-
you can't hunt a cat.
So I need to know how far you are from this fucking dog end of this dog's leash right now when you say that shit.
Lonnie wants to step right outside of his change range.
Okay, so like,
Just to taunt it.
like if you're up on the chomp chomp chain, you're like, it's the dog. The dog is fucking like. Here y'all are. It's a fucking street, right? There's a dog, a not very happy dog. Do we have a dog in here already? Please tell me Zion fucking just pots that shit out. There's a dog. This actually looks like a heckin' pupperino, but pretend it's a lot mangier for our purposes.
Aww.
It's really cute.
Why are you tormenting that
Look at how
dog?
cute. It looks so cute. It's like a polar bear dog too. I don't remember what it was from, but Pat's drawn this previously. So isn't it nice? Anyway,
Just wanna say,
Talk
older-
shit to that dog? Fuck!
imagine a much cute. Imagine a much. I have a crocodile dog. I'm sorry, I don't. This isn't a crocodile dog, or I'd throw this out. It's not
Okay,
a
so
throwing
that's
dog.
a lot. That's a lot better.
Yeah,
So-
Lonnie's just gonna Lonnie's gonna literally stand right outside the change
Okay,
range and try to taunt it.
Okay.
And just be like, and essentially be like, I don't think you're shit. I don't think you've caught anything. What do you mean meat like me? Are you that desperate?
All right. So.
At that point, Tendo's gonna grab Lonnie by the collar, like, okay, down, girl.
All
down,
right,
come
so
on."
you are there's a 5-foot gap, right? So 10 foot from you, Tento's coming up to grab you. It makes a strength check, and it's like it rebounds against the chain.
I was so hoping it would be a nat 20.
I was
She would launch like a
That'd be
rocket.
kinda funny, too.
Rocket.
That'd be funny too.
I mean,
Come
I'm
on,
glad
girl.
you're safe.
But I don't think, but it doesn't seem like taunting's gonna make it slip up any information.
You know, I would say that you've you kind of but as you like like it clearly be honest, right? It's like your leg's already in the snare. Master's gonna let me chew your bones. It like barks in this weird demented way you've never fucking heard before. Almost like
How
it's
well
trying
fed
to
does this
imitate a
dog-
cruel human laugh.
How well fed does this dog seem?
Pretty well fed. Actually, well, okay. Let me put it this way: its teeth look like it's and you see a bone near it, and it's definitely chewed a lot of bone. It doesn't look like it's poorly fed. It's not well groomed though. Like its hair is dirty and mangy, and it's got like scars, possibly from talons or bite marks or something.
Okay, now Lonnie is gonna look up and down the street if there's anyone.
Sure. Attention, you have a 19 perception, passive perception. I'm assuming you're looking too.
Yeah.
There was
I'm
definitely
wondering why she stopped barking.
there was definitely someone like boiling water to make some food earlier, and when they heard like some sort of like intense barking thing going on, like they kind of like he's kind of like leaning out his window, like what the fuck? He sees your party and he decides I don't fucking want to be involved in that. He leans back, returns to making his food.
I'm gonna tell Donald, can you stop making noise and stop attracting, like, trying to get attention?
Lonnie is going to cast Animal Friendship.
Oh shit! All right, pop that fucking spell. And we've cleared. Does that have a verbal component? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
This is-
You whip out a morsel of food. You're like, "Kucha, kucha, ku," and you do the.
What is the material component?
It's a morsel of food. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure its intelligence is lower than 4. It's gonna make a wisdom save.
I'd be surprised if it was
Yeah,
smarter than
It
4.
fails. Yeah. It says, friend. Wolf-scented friend. How strange. You run in the wild places. Have you clomped wet grass untread by foot beneath your feet? What's there? What meat?
Is there Is there a like a more like does the dog have like a shelter or something that we can like at least be a little out of sight of other people?
There's like an awning out front of this guy's house that's like one step up, like one step below a porch. It's like this kind of like a lean-to bit coming off the front of his house, and it's chained to one of the posts of that. You could step back towards that, but it's actually doesn't receive any shelter from like the elements or anything. You would not call this guy a great dog owner.
Mm-hmm.
What are you Are you feeding it now? What are you doing?
You see the food like Actually, wait, it doesn't say that the food's consumed. You see her whip out some food, and she's like, and all of a sudden the dog loves her.
What's going on?
Maybe you should try not to make so much noise now, Scout.
You're out front you're out front the dude's house, and you are just like you're talking to Doggo, right? Zion,
Yeah.
120L, Orochi, the north and south are okay. Hold on, I'm gonna move this really fast so that I don't have to invert north and south. North of you is this guy's house. And to the south is kind of like a cliff face, with like a prettiest little like picket fence or whatever, some growth rocks or whatever. And there's a street going east and west. Where are you guys positioned as this happens, just for reference? I would say the main. I'm gonna denote like this is like the main street that goes like up and down again is this other dirt texture.
Like relatively close
I
to-
am like behind Lonnie. Like, what are you doing?
Lonnie's just gonna step into the little. I presume it's like a little bit more sheltered from people's eyes. And just gonna sit and have a nice chat with the dog now.
I mean, it's more sheltered from like the sky above, but it's like here's a post, awning above, someone on the street, almost perfectly the same level of seeing you, other than there's a bit of a post in the way.
Okay. Lonnie's kind of small, right?
I will say there's a stack of firewood, if you wanted to like crouch behind that.
Yeah, sure.
Tento is so confused right now.
Yeah, so she's like on this, like in front of this dude's house, crouched behind some firewood, and she's talking to this dog that likes her now. Relative to her, wherever you would like in this scenario, all actors relevant. And so yeah, what do you ask the dog while it really, really likes you?
So what do you mean, meat like me?
And he says, two-legged meat, it tastes different. Such varied diets.
How often do you get to hunt this kind of meat?
Normally we don't hunt it. Normally it's for the feast. But maybe every other moon, pending.
And when was the last feast?
Not for some time, but there's a new one. New one soon. Right.
Have you caught anything for the feast yet?
A bugbear and a goblin. One of the goblins got away. Master and I tried to track it. Master and I and some others. But when we were out there, there was a strange flash of lightning, and there were others around it in the direction of the scent. So we decided to withdraw.
Hey, we saved his life.
Where's the meat usually kept for the feast? Do you know?
Depends if the feast will be here or up in the mountains with the trolls. But I think that they're in a basement somewhere. Someone's house. Keep them in rock. Surrounded by rock. Mix the blood.
Do you like? Is the feast usually with fresh meat?
Very fresh. The renewal of the oath. Pact. I don't drink the red water. But they do. The red and blue mix.
What time does this happen?
Dead of night.
And how much do how much meat do you usually want during the feast?
As much as I can get.
They might I don't know what paling looks like on someone of Lonnie's complexion, but
Hmm.
you probably see like her face kind of like
Oh shit.
definitely yeah.
It's like, you, what, you okay there, Lonnie? Lonnie?
I think
I'm
we should
thinking-
get
Yeah,
conversation
Lonnie is just going to walk away from the dog and go back to the group and just be like, I don't know if you meant eyeing us up like meat literally, but they sure do.
And the dog is like happily barking behind you, right? As a dude kind of walks up the street and turns in this direction, looking
I
kind
just-
of askance at the fact that there's a bunch of people outside of, looks a little askance at you. And
Can I dispel it early?
you can dispel the spell. He sees you. And the dog. Here's the thing: how far away? So you dispel it right now, as the world state exists. Yes.
I know, yes.
Okay. So the dog. So-
Come at me, boy.
The Tento, the dog, is trying to go past you to hit Lonnie. What do? You see it lunge immediately. It's angry. It's lunging. The chain is hitting you.
Oh, I'm kicking the dog.
Oh, okay. Give me an attack against the dog.
Kicks puppies.
What kind of attack should I do?
Unarmed melee. Friend
Is that
space.
attack damage.
Should I just roll strength?
And I guess add your. Oh yeah, you fucking hit the dog. Roll me it's a 1 damage by default, isn't it? It's not D4 unless you're a monk.
I'm not trying to hurt it too much, but I am definitely trying to get away from
Yeah,
Lonnie.
yeah, you do
I
fucking
think it's
hit.
1 plus strike modifier is the default.
Yeah. So you kick the dog. It's like oof, and the hunter yells, "The fuck! You just kicked my dog!" And he and the
fuck
other
your dog
pe-
just tried to attack me.
he and the other people are like taking their bows off their backs and saying, "These strangers just attacked my dog." And
Your dog
you're
just tried to
hearing
attack me.
you're hearing doors open, hearing people move about. How would everybody, Zion? How are you responding to this present situation? Shall we describe it as?
Can't we all just talk about this?
Yeah, you saw the dog tried to
Civilized
attack
people.
her.
I'm just
And-
gonna like pull out her shield and just like kind of cower behind it.
Orochi, how are you responding to the present situation that is just unfurled?
I think Orochi would match the aggression of the other people, so not full
Oh my god.
in the middle of a thunderstorm, but like wind is picking up around. Whether they notice it being unnatural or not is I don't know. But
That's an
wind
interesting.
is picking
That's
up.
an interesting question. Yeah, so like the wind buffets you all, and your hair gets flipped a little along this like ridge, right? So like there's space to the south of you. There's houses and cliff to the north of you, and the wind whips around, and they look at you, right?
Lonnie.
You're just beginning to draw upon wind, right?
Yeah, like not enough to be like, oh yeah, this is clearly coming from me, but like just like
Mhm. But it
Lonnie's
would
Lonnie's
be a
gonna
dramatic
trigger
moment.
the Lonnie's gonna trigger the telepathic bond and just shout like, "Orochi, calm down."
Wait, is it bonded with Orochi?
Yes.
I don't know. Is it bonded with
Yes.
Orochi?
Yes. Cal can also do this. Though.
All right, so like it's worth noting that you
Oh.
only get about 6 seconds before the dog is recoiling from being kicked. They are all like arming up. People are coming, and in like a 6-second span, this dog is about to try and bite you because it has been damaged by Tento, but it hasn't been stopped. It's not
Lonnie
down.
is just
it looks halfway to down, but it's not stopped yet.
Lonnie just wants to like hide behind her shield, back away, eyeing the dog, and is focused on like telling Orochi to calm down, just play it off like he just randomly attacked
All right,
us.
so are you going to try and get outside of the 15 feet of the chain then?
Yeah.
All right,
But-
then you gotta step, I think, 5, 10, 15. I think you have to be parallel to Zion to be truly out of the range of this dog.
Oh no, scary dog! I totally can't fend off. Ah!
Alright, the dog, once line's no longer an option, tries to bite Tento. If it fails to make any meaningful progress through your leather.
Can someone control this dog, please?
Get away from
Calm
my
your
house!
crazy dog!
I'm gonna get away from your house. Get your dog away from me. And doesn't like try to walk away from the dog.
The hunter is gonna shout, "Down!" And the dog does back down. And
Thank you.
and
What is wrong with your dog? We were just walking through.
alright, roll me a deception right quick.
We have a
Please.
lot of witnesses that says that it wasn't true. Just FYI.
Just one witness, I think. Bless.
Alright, so the hunter
Bless.
the hunter is like looks at you, kinda like snarls a little, and he lowers his bow and says, "You have no business on this street anyway, outsider. Get out of here." Although you do hear like there's like a movement up on a roof, and a goblin kinda like leans over and says, "They've been barking at each other for minutes." And the hunter's like, "What do you mean barking at each other?" And then his eyes go a little wider. He looks at Lonnie, and he looks at Lonnie's tattoos, and he looks at her attire, and these little wheels spinning. Your deception is now disadvantage. Roll again and see how that next one comes out.
Oh, great. If it helps any, the only tattoos that are visible are on her face.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in you.
13. We're taking so you get the 13
No,
more or less for
11.
this.
It's 11.
Oh,
Well, but there-
second one at
well,
disadvantage.
Yeah, sorry. So
okay.
basically,
Oh.
your roll of a 17 is now being put into a disadvantage quote
Oh,
mode.
okay, okay.
So I'm just saying the
Oh,
first
okay,
one
not-
that came up is
Not
next.
too bad.
So the worst of 17 or 13 is 13, and he appraises, and he looks at the hobgoblin, he looks at the peasant, he looks at you guys, and he says, "How long have you? It's about midday, right?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he said, he lowers his bow, and he says, "Strangers shouldn't tarry in the streets, especially where they have no business. Get out of there."
Yeah, I heard you first time.
And they kind of like step out of the way, and they keep their eyes on Lonnie. And the hunter's eyes go between Lonnie and the dog. And the dog makes eyes at Lonnie and makes a single bark. You still have talk with animals on?
It shouldn't have been 10 minutes since I last
does.
cast it.
Yeah, okay. It communicates wolf scent at you. And the hunter looks at you like you're a wild animal. And he's a gamesman. But he doesn't attack you.
I don't think he actually understands that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
knows
you
this
can you
dog
can
doesn't
you can
know.
think what you want. You notice something different in his eyes after that bark comes off.
I know, I presume it means game or something like that. Or, anyways.
He there's a bit of a connection between them, but you're perhaps not
Yeah,
certain what.
But yeah, Lonnie's just gonna like put away her shield, like check herself over. It's like maybe we should leave tonight instead. The streets are even this dangerous. This place is much better off than anywhere else.
You know, Lonnie, that sounds like a great
And-
idea.
Lonnie wants to see if saying they're leaving earlier will get a reaction.
Yeah, it definitely does. They kind of look at the hunter, and the hobgoblin pipes and says, "Ah, I think my friend here was too hasty. That dog of his has been known to bite at children, and he should really train it better." And the guy behind him, and the goblin on the streets, on the roof's like, "I mean, yeah, the dog is pretty aggressive, not gonna lie." And the hunter like looks around like, "Oh, you're really gonna do me like this, bitch?" But he says,
I'm gonna look at the goblin on the roof like, why are you up there?
and he pulls up a little hammer, and he's like, "I was working on my little greenhouse like atrium thing I got going on back here, but I fell asleep and heard all this damn barking, and I saw you guys were down there, and I was like, oh, there's a bark off going on. I wonder what's gonna happen."
You fell asleep on your roof?
It's a nice sunny day. Besides, goblins are nocturnal, I assume. I mean, I can see at night. I don't know. I feel it's kind of a nocturnal thing. I like to sleep during the day. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. He definitely was doing some roofing up there, but fell asleep. And he's now village gossiping.
So this story checks out. Gotcha. I was like,
Yeah, so basically after you're like, oh, we should totally leave like tonight, the hobgoblin commoner and the peasant are like, ahem, hunter, get your shit under control. And the hunter's like,
he did him dirty.
my dog does what he's commanded, but I was at the market. Normally I'm here to supervise him. We're taking him on a hunt. Man can't go buy some herbs without someone wandering by. Do what you will. Come on. And he takes the dog, he takes him off the chain, he takes him inside his house, kind of, and goes inside. Some other people have come out who definitely, like, not all of them are holding weapons, but some of them have, like, big sticks or something. And then the hobgoblin commoner was like, it's fine. Just a little misunderstanding about the dog. The dog. Oh, and people,
the dog.
people go back inside, but some eyes linger on this event.
Oh, I'm done
Wow.
shopping. Let's go back.
They kind of clear out, kind of give you a little nod, and then walk down the street into the guy's house.
I swear, with you guys. as they walk by, I swear, if you guys one thing or another. Lonnie, why were you harassing the dog?
The dog knows stuff. Let's go back.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Dog knows stuff. Let's go back.
Alright, so you guys want to head back to town? Head back to your apartments, right?
Yeah.
Alright, by the time you get back, it's still around midday. Maybe a long walk around this town, honestly. You make it back to your accommodations. Lumi didn't smell or see anyone come in. That being said, Lumi has been here smelling from the open windows for a while. And she thinks to you, there's something off. These people. Their scent. It's not right. I'm not sure why.
Not surprised. Lonnie's just gonna pull out the invitation and start writing. And she's going to write about how the dog hunts two-legged game. How there's
Just gonna make sure that he pens out so everyone can see what she's writing.
Yeah, I'm like, God, you guys write a lot. Like, oh,
how
Like that.
makes
there's
a lot more sense.
there's a feast happening tonight. How the two were caught, and it's renewing something probably like a blood pact. And they're totally planning on catching us for it too. They're alive. They're in some stone basement somewhere, but it's not gonna be that way after tonight.
Why can't we just go to normal places where we're not harassed by the townsfolk or hunted? Ugh.
Speaking of,
Lonnie, Lonnie looks at Orochi pointedly and writes out, "Now do you think the town's not in on it?"
Damn.
well, I'm sorry, I didn't have that information beforehand.
Yeah, you
Did
did it.
you?
It's just
Lonnie just writes out, "They certainly were giving us weird looks the whole time."
Yeah, every town does. Look at us.
what are you talking about? No one gives me weird looks.
By the way, when you walk back in, most of the the people there's more people drinking here. The crowd is mostly shifted from who they were before, except Tibir and his drinking companion are still here, and he kind of gives you a nod when you walk back in.
Well, at least all of them look kind of friendly.
Lonnie just says out loud, as if this was normal conversation, doesn't care to be heard, like, "So are we going to stay or are we going to go? Because this town certainly isn't. Apparently, the streets aren't safe with people can't control their dogs."
I think we'll be staying, Lonnie.
Yeah, I
When
think
one
we-
incident isn't sour to the whole experience.
Fine, but we're leaving as soon as we can.
All right.
But of course, my lady.
So
Get-
is,
get her look-
Lonnie
Oh,
just gives
wow.
sent a pointed look, like a what the fuck look.
all right.
I mean,
So,
you're barking. You're giving barking a lot of commands lately. You know, just
I mean, so have you.
it's because people can't handle it sometimes, Orochi. I look at him. So I was just like, why am I here again?
And
Why do I hang out with these people?
Lonnie writes out on the invitation, "We can't be ambushed tonight."
Tento writes, it's not much of an ambush if we know it's happening.
I guess I guess I also have been taking a piece of paper and writing down my responses on a non-magical piece of paper.
Orochi, what are you? That's what Tento just like looks at him like,
what would you say the most incriminating thing for someone here to find
I-
is written on that paper?
Mm.
what are you doing?
I mean, I can get rid of the evidence, but either way,
Eat it!
um,
Zion
I'm
eats
just gonna
it.
burn it.
Stop it! What are you guys doing?
I think the most incriminating thing that he said was, "Well, I didn't have that kind of information before."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can just. I do plan on burning it afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
it's a piece of paper. A little bit of lightning will fucking poop it up in smokes.
Right. You do, however, burn something in the room. And, yeah, alright. I presumably deal with the ashes. Alright.
Does Lonnie
We
just
got
look like she's-
stuff to. We got recreational rocks to smoke.
Does Lonnie just look like she's meditating when she's doing the ritual? Or does it like, oh, for sure, that's magic shit?
You don't notice any differences. You just think you're meditating, but your body is kind of not where you're at during the process. So if you do
What
weird... Has anybody
does
watched you
Lumi-
do it?
Lumi's probably has.
Yeah, Lumi's watching. Lumi would say that sometimes your head lulls around and it looks like you could be asleep with your eyes open. And also that she noticed the faintest of blue lights glowing underneath your traditional eye patch setup when you did it
Okay.
last time.
Lonnie's just gonna go to a bedroll, throw the blanket over her, like a little kid, like hiding under the blankets on their phone, and gonna start this shit.
Alright, give me your first test.
I don't think I can guidance this, right? No, because it takes
no.
10 minutes. Yeah.
Tento's gonna look at her funny. He's like, "What are you doing now? What? Are you hiding?" I'm
Lonnie,
so
that dog
confused.
won't hurt you here.
Alright, so where are you trying to look? Really important question.
Under the like in basements under the town. Like if it starts from
So-
above, she wants to look at like stone structures.
Your eyes wrap over the structure and you try and feel out an unnatural groove in the stone and try to ride along. Your eye scoots down through the stalks of roots and you find yourself in the dirt. You almost lose yourself in the dirt. You feel heavy in the dirt. And after a while, you manage to catch a glimpse of a room not cast in grays, but in full color of... There's 4 people. There's a goblin, a bugbear, there's a man and a woman, human man, human woman. They are chained up, and they are in someone's basement. You think it's really close to the town square. You think it's something like you literally pop back out and your eye swoops out, like you ride through a crevice in the land, you pop back out, you're looking down at the well. They're somewhere across the street from you, but as your eye twists, it rolls back a little. Feel the strangest pulse. The world shimmers blue. First a cool teal glowing healing blue, and then a sickly blue that turns to a purple. And this purple drains from the world and tightens upon people you see down there. And it files into their veins. And then there's a twang, as if though a disturbance wraps across all of them. And look around and vision fades. I think that's where we call it for the night. Hey, welcome to 1231. Thank you all for coming out. Sorry, I think session would have been less slow if I had had the 2 hours I allotted to prep. Unfortunately,
And not a power outage.
yeah,
that's also a big
I
deal,
mean,
too.
Not several power outages.
I
throughout the
allotted
day.
the 2 hours from 6:30 on after having several power outages and being like, okay, as long as I have 6:30 on to prepare, I'll probably be ready for something. So if things were a bit slow tonight, it was mostly my lack of preparation, unfortunately. Anyway,
That's not something.
I mean, we were also
again-
groping around in the dark for a bit, so it's fine.
yeah, I think it would have been a better, more obvious experience. What was interesting if I... Anyway, point is, thank you all for coming out. We had a good time. We're back on the High Road Grind this Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on. Is part 2 of Tusk Island, our first game in Foundry, playing the Dishonored system. So come out and remember, revenge solves everything as the party begins to make their way towards Fort Tusk for the Diorina. Their vile plans lie. Anyway, we're going to do a quick feedback phase. We're going to start with Shin. Go right to left as I see him. And just hit me with whatever stands out most from the like, dislike, more of kind of categories there, Shin.
I thought today's session was really nice. It was good RP moments. Any kind of like lull that would have existed, I think everyone did a really good job of filling it. Make sure there was like no like real like awkward moments.
Yeah.
And given with like all the technical difficulties, I think you did a really good job of giving us something and not just leaving us hanging with nothing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's my 2 cents.
Nice. Yeah, and as I ran it over, it is Darren's turn.
Hi, yeah, no, today was a lot of fun RP moments. A lot of like little moments of our characters interacting. How some of them react to like how others, like with the whole line you speak. I don't think it's like, oh yeah, I could use that. It'd be funny. So she barked. It was just a lot of fun RP. I can't wait to see what happens next with this town, because obviously we might get eaten. So that's a thing. On the bright side, at least Zion can't be eaten, right?
At least
They
Zion
can
can-
sure try.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can try. Unless he has a gooey center.
I don't know. The Zion's trying to feed us bark and rocks, so maybe
Alright.
it, to his
I mean,
understanding, metal is digestible.
You guys
Yeah.
got rocks today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
What
buying
is
the
metal if not a level above rock?
buying the drugs thing was definitely not on my list to get. I was like, oh, I guess we're doing this. That came out of left field. Like, oh hey, I basically have marijuana, and okay. That was a lot of fun.
Milking that parasite. Alright.
Yeah,
Kai.
smoking that parasite.
Kai, hit me with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Today was fun. I like the way this town is. You know, little mystery. Everyone's in on it. And yeah, good RP stuff that happened.
Yeah.
That's it.
Alright. And with that, Casey.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, like there might have been lulls, but they weren't particularly noticeable. I think part of it was on you, part of it's on the group.
Mhm.
But like, even if like it was like slow to like for us to
Mhm.
kind of get to the point of the town, I think it was fine because it felt like a mystery. Like, yeah, something's definitely sus about this town, but like, what exactly is it?
I was worried of giving
Oh.
away too much up front because I hadn't originally factored in Cal for how I was originally planning to introduce this town, because I always knew this town existed, and literally the question was, will this Cathodac arc ever involve them going to it? And it did wind up at the 11th hour possible for your party to run into something, so that's crazy. But
Sus
yeah,
town.
sus town, sus. I saw this
But
town
yeah,
event.
I don't know. This town is kind of fun. Like I don't know, even like the dogs in on it was kind of wild to me. But yeah,
I mean,
it's
he's gotta
fun.
get fed, right?
Looking forward to. I don't know, just like looking forward to seeing what this adventure is gonna be like, and yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm also another thing that I'm also curious how you're gonna add in the orcs, how they're gonna play a part, because
Oh yeah, we were gonna like train this town to like combat the orcs.
Oh, no,
weren't
no,
we?
This isn't the town.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
I thought
this was.
Yeah. So no, you're. So here's the thing. Yeah, you were trying to race down to a town where that's gonna happen.
Oh, okay. So training montages still could be thing.
Training
Gotcha.
montage in future, yes.
I guess I have one other thing. I'm interested to see if the eye stuff is a result of me failing my rolls, and because like, I think this is like the first couple times I have done very poorly on the rolls, or if it's just like, oh, I did something that kind of made this thing better and kind of made this thing worse. Let's see.
All right. Well then, thank you all for coming out, Dreamers.
Wheel.
Those who are still here, I think we lost most people during the shutter. But you know what? That's fine. Geek Girl Lisa is live playing some Witcher. We're gonna go raid her. I'll catch you all on the flip.
Mm-hmm.
Till next time, fairly well.
I stream. Bye.
What? Darren's not just staring into the abyss of the camera.